talked about thoughts to it. I really self-sabotaged myself the first 5 months of 2025. Like, I had some momentum going into January where things were going in the right direction, and I absolutely self-sabotaged everything. A couple friendships, a couple relationships. I mean, I really screwed things up really, really bad. It is, for the first time in my life, I feel cruel. I feel like a cruel human being for the first time in my life. That crazy? To me, that's just nuts. I've always been the nice guy, and now I'm like this cruel SOB, and that's truly how I feel. What I've become. It's crazy. So to give you guys a little, I mean, I'm not gonna go into super long detail because there's people involved, and I hurt, I hurt some people that I care about, and I pretty much dropped a metaphorical nuke on any chance of me building anything with anybody in that circle. Friendships, business relationships, anything. I just oh, I'm a dumbass. Oh, I literally am. I am just stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, you'd think at 40 years old I'd actually have a brain by now. In fact, in 2 months I'm going to be 41. You'd think I would have learned, but I had never been in the situation I was in. Never been in it. In my life, man, it's tough to like comprehend this, but that I believed originally when I would hear that, a woman is supposed to be a man's piece. I always thought that was absolute malarkey. I thought that was absolute baloney. I believe I truly, before this year, I truly believed that you got to create your own peace and your own happiness. And I still believe that for the most part. It's just there's an added element now. And that added element is there is such thing as someone bringing you peace and calm in your life. So I had a friend of mine. She's married, 4 kids. I knew her, God, since I was 19 years old. Okay, we've known each other, and we were like the best of friends. Her name is Erica. We were like the best of friends. Like, you know, it was to the point like when we did some stuff that wasn't legal. Then there was no Uber, money for a taxi. She could call me, I could call her. We always like took care of each other. We always took really, really good care of each other. And when I still talk to her every once in a while through Facebook because she actually lives in Germany now with her husband. Her husband's in the military, and she's on baby number 4. I mean, that's just how cool she is, right? She's been married forever. Nothing romantic ever happened, but she wrote me a letter when I was going through what I was going through with my kid's mom. I was going through a lot of there was a lot of just what I call batshit crazy going on. And she wrote me this letter and she mailed it to me all the way from Germany, mailed it to Nevada. And in the letter, she basically stated that we were each other's person and that you know, at the end of the day, if life was different, if life had turned out different, you know, if just certain things went a certain direction, that we would have ended up together. That's how like close we were. And that she hoped that eventually I found someone that, you know, understood me and wanted to be with me for who I am and see me for who I am. And that letter helped me a lot because I was going through a lot. I mean, the dealership was failing. You know, I'm in 110, 112 degree weather every day. It was just a nutty time, very nutty time. And at the end of the day, it made me feel like every time I read that letter, and it was a physical letter, it wasn't an email or text, it was a physical handwritten letter. And every single time that I feel like absolute crap or I feel like stuff is colliding around me, I read that letter because it just reminds me that someone does see me for me and does accept me for who I am. Not accept me for what I can do for them, accepts me for who I am and what I am. And it's so rare to find someone as a friend, even a family member, a spouse, a life partner. It's so hard and so rare to find someone like that you link with, right? And I never felt that way towards her at all. Never. I never even thought of her like that. But to hear her think of me like that was awesome. And it didn't make me want to go run to Germany and sweep her off her feet or anything. She's happily married with 3 men her whole life. You know, that's just who she is and who she's always been. And it was good stuff. And I decided that it was time for me to pay that forward, and that was stupid. Shouldn't have done that. Because I found it. I found what she was talking about. When she was talking, it was interesting because I didn't understand what Erica meant until this year, until around, I'm going to call it around mid-April. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my God, I know what this is. I know what she was talking about. I know what people talk about on these podcasts and on these shows and on these, you know, uh, TV shows or movies and stuff. Because I always thought that crap's for the movies. That crap's for Hollywood and fantasy. But it's not. And I found it in a friend. No more, no less. I found it in a friend. I found it in someone that I consider to be a very good friend. And I self-sabotaged it. Didn't mean to. It wasn't meant to do it. If I could go back in a DeLorean with a flux capacitor, I would have stopped myself from doing it. Did it a different way. But I didn't. I was stupid. I was dumb. And now I completely, hopefully I didn't screw up the entire dynamic, because that's not what I wanted to do. I screwed the dynamic dealing with me, and I really have put myself in a financial hole worse than I started when I left Nevada. But I know I can rebuild, and you know, I know I can play a little Crocodile Dundee. So I'm not worried about it at the end of the day. I know if I'm Allen Iverson and play isolation ball, I'll be fine for a while. Now, isolation, somebody was telling me and asked me, you know, they go, isolation, what do you mean? Does that mean you're gonna like not post anymore? No, I'm still gonna post and I'm still gonna do videos for the RV channel and this channel and the other channels and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. I'm still gonna post stuff. What I'm gonna do different is I'm going to stop watching stuff on YouTube unless it's educational. I'm gonna like stay off social media outside of business and work. I'm going to stay off the phone, text message, and phone calls unless it has to do with business and making money, or my kids mom. But outside of that, I'm going to like socially isolate for a while because I don't like what I did and what I became, and I want to find out where that came from. Where did my cruelty come from? Because I lost my temper last night. I'm usually, I lost my temper 2 years ago when it comes to Grand Design RV and their frame failure, frame flex crap. I mean, I lost my temper several times with that, but that's different. That's losing my temper over business. That's losing my temper over stupidity of a company and gaslighting their customers, right? Gaslighting their people. I lost my temper over personal reasons, and I haven't done that in years. I haven't done that probably in 3 or 4 years since basically I left Oregon. No, I'd be lying. No, it happened while I was in Nevada. So no, about 2 years since I've lost my temper, lost my shit. Like I've been working on that, and I lost it last night. I lost my freaking mind last night. I was so angry and pissed. My face turned red, and that's because when several people are angry at each other, a lot of the emotions bring out some truths. And when you hear from people that the words like, it just makes people in general look and feel like there's some kind of gold digger, you know. And it's not cool. It's not necessarily 100% accurate, but there's some truth to it. Like, you know, to hear words like, oh, you know, if I knew you were really that broke, I would have never even been your friend, or I wouldn't even been talking to you. So there's a lot of, I'm starting to learn there's a lot of truth to what these folks say in their classes. Like there's Olivia Jensen. She's really good on YouTube, and she talks about, and she's a woman, and she talks about that women love men for what they do for them. Men love women for basically love unconditionally. It's very interesting to hear that, because when I heard, no matter what I do as a man, if I don't have any money, nobody wants to mess around with me, right? No matter what ambitions are. And I'm very ambitious and very entrepreneurial, and I know I'll rebuild quick because I know what I'm going to do to rebuild. I've got my brain on overdrive to get this done, and the self-isolation for a while will help me actually rebuild. And it's not let me go hide and cry. No, screw that. I'm going to be that guy that works 18, 19 hours a day, sleeps 4 or 5, goes to the gym, gets himself back into shape, which I was already doing anyway, right? I was already in the gym an hour or two a day, 4 days a week. Now I'm going to stretch it to 5 or 6, and then just do different exercises. I'm going to do different focuses. Rather than doing just a full body exercise every day, I'm going to focus in on muscle groups. I'm going to start building the body I had when I was 30 years old. When I was 30 years old, I was rock solid. I mean, I wasn't buff by any means, but I was rock solid, felt my healthiest when I was 30. So when I, going into year 41 of my life, I want to start feeling that again. Holy crap, there's a lot of traffic. So anyway, just thought I'd kind of clarify that, because I know there were some concerns I was just going to stop posting. I'm not going to stop posting, but yeah, I really screwed things up. So talk to you guys later.